So in the last episode we saw Megumi and Panda heading toward the monitor room. However, Kirara stops them, and their fight begins. After an intense battle, Megumi finally manages to defeat Kirara. On the other hand, Yuji finally meets Hikari. But Hikari becomes suspicious of Yuji and starts beating him up. He hits Yuji quite brutally, but Yuji doesn't fight back. Every time he falls, he gets back up again. Seeing Yuji's determination, Hikari finally agrees to listen to him. Then, Yuji and Megumi tell him about the culling game, and explain that they need Hikari's help to stop it. This episode begins with an old friend of Yuji's whom we saw in Season 1, Episode 1, the one who used to run the occult club with Yuji. As she opens her eyes, Kenjaku is standing in front of her. She asks, "Who are you?" Kenjaku replies, "I am a sorcerer, and I have created these barriers. Very soon, a death game is going to start here." The girl says, "Whatever you want to do, please do it far away from my neighborhood." Kenjaku smiles slightly and says, "You are very funny, but sorry, I can't do that. I faced many difficulties in making this barrier, so I couldn't add many conditions. But don't worry, normal humans will be given a chance. If you want to leave this barrier, you just have to think about it, and as soon as you open your eyes, you will be outside." Hearing this, the girl asks, "So am I dreaming right now?" Kenjaku replies, "Right now we are between a dream and reality, in a cursed realm." After this, Kenjaku goes to leave her outside the barrier. But before leaving, he stops and says thank you for being a good friend to my son, and then disappears. Here, he is obviously talking about Yuji, because we know that at one point, Kenjaku possessed Yuji's mother's body and gave birth to him. Outside the barrier, we see Yuji's other friend is also present, the other member of the occult club. Not just that, there are many other people standing there. Everyone had the same dream about Kenjaku, and a huge black barrier stands before them all. The scene shifts to Hikari. When he learns that Gojo has been sealed, he is completely shocked. He can't believe it. Then Panda reveals that Principal Yaga is also no more. The higher-ups had him killed. Hearing this, everyone becomes sad. Yuji says to Panda, "Principal Yaga was like a father figure to you, right?" Panda replies, "Yes, but don't worry about me. I'm fine." Then Hikari says, "If that's the case, then fine. I will help you guys stop the culling game." Everyone is happy to hear this, but Hikari adds, "Don't get too happy. I'm not doing this for sympathy. This is a deal. I will help you now. And after the culling game, you will help me." Panda asks, "Why would you need our help?" Before Hikari can answer, Megumi says, "Whatever it is, we'll see later." To this, Hikari says, "Hey, you cactus-haired guy, listen to my whole point first." Megumi says with full attitude, "Talk with respect. I am the leader of the Zenin clan." Hearing this, both Hikari and Kirara are shocked. An idea immediately comes to Hikari's mind. This is even better. If the leader of the Zenin clan is in my support, I can do anything. However, he doesn't know yet that Maki has already wiped out the entire Zenin clan. While they are talking, Kogane suddenly appears, who is basically the game master of the culling game. He announces, "A player has just added a new rule to the culling game, rule number 9. According to this rule, all players can now see each other's names, points, locations, and how many rules they have added. The player who added this rule is named Kashimo, and he has 200 points. Everyone is surprised to see Kogane. Then they realize, wait, none of us have officially registered ourselves in the culling game yet. So who did Kogane come here to inform? When they ask, Kogane says, "I have come to inform Yuji Itadori." Megumi is surprised and asks, "Yuji? Since when did Yuji become a player?" Kenjaku hadn't made him consume any cursed object. Yuji says maybe it's because of Sukuna. It's possible that in the past, Kenjaku made a pact with Sukuna, but Megumi still has doubts, saying, "You ate Sukuna's finger of your own free will, Kenjaku didn't force you." Then Megumi says, "Forget it, we'll discuss all this later." Afterward, they have Kogane bring up the list of players who have 100 points. So far there are only 2 such players, Kashimo, who has 200 points, and a guy named Higuruma. The plan is simple. Go to both of them, negotiate, and use their points to add a new rule so that Megumi's sister can avoid being forced to participate in this game. There are only about 7 days left. But before that, they need a counter for rule number 8. According to rule number 8, if a player's points remain at 0 or don't change for 19 days, their cursed technique will be removed. Basically, they will die. Therefore, they decide the next rule should be that players can transfer points to each other. This way, no player's points will stay at 0, and Megumi will get more time to save his sister. They have two main goals now: first, to add a new rule at any cost, and second, to find the Angel and use her help to free Gojo. Yuji searches for a player named Angel, but no registered player is found by that name. Panda says it might not be her real name, just like Yuji is the registered name, not Sukuna. Hikari suggests they should divide into 3 groups. Yuji and Megumi will go to Higuruma, Panda will look for Angel, and Hikari himself will go to Kishimo because he believes someone with 200 points will definitely be powerful, so he will either fight or negotiate with him. Everyone sets off in different directions, and begins entering different colonies. The scene shifts to a girl standing on a rooftop. She is waiting for a signal from a guy named Amai. We see a jet-like device on her head that allows her to fly. Basically, these people are rookie hunters. They hunt new players who participate in the game before they can properly understand it. Meanwhile, we see Yuji and Megumi about to enter the barrier. Megumi explains to Yuji that Higuruma might be a past sorcerer who made a deal with Kenjaku, so he might not be ready to negotiate. Therefore, they must be ready to fight if necessary. Since Yuji is already a registered player, Megumi also registers himself as a player with Kogane's help. Kogane asks if they want to hear the game rules, but Megumi says no, move aside, your job is done. Then both enter the barrier together, but as soon as they enter, Yuji starts falling from the sky, and Megumi is not with him. They have been separated. This reveals a hidden rule. As soon as a player enters the barrier, they are randomly teleported to one of 9 colonies. The 2 rookie hunters on the rooftop see Yuji. The guy signals his partner. Finally, someone is coming our way. Before Yuji can land, the jet girl grabs him in midair and slams him through a large building. But even after all this, Yuji doesn't have a single scratch. The girl is shocked. Anyone else would have been minced meat by now, but this guy is still standing. She calls her husband for help. However, Yuji infuses a rock with cursed energy and hits her jet, breaking it and causing her to fall. Yuji thinks, oh, she fell quite easily. I wanted to ask about Higuruma too. Just then, her husband arrives, who looks like a relative of Doraemon because he has a propeller on his head that allows him to fly. He angrily asks, what did you do to my wife? Then we see Amai, who gave the signal earlier. He is watching Yuji from a distance and notices, this is Yuji Itadori. He already knew Yuji, but how he knows him is not revealed yet. Meanwhile, we see Megumi in a different colony. He tries to find Yuji but can't. We learn that he also had a fight with a girl whom he defeated very easily. Megumi asks her, do you know a guy named Higuruma? She says, yes, I know him, the guy with 100 plus points. The scene shifts back to Yuji, who is fighting the Doraemon relative. Yuji grabs his leg and drags him across a building, causing his propellers to get stuck in the concrete. However, his propellers are very sharp and cut through concrete easily. But the guy is impressed by Yuji's physical power. Yuji decides that fighting in the open sky is a disadvantage for him, so he goes inside the building. The guy follows, cutting through the concrete. This time Yuji doesn't run, he lands a powerful punch right between the fans, stopping them and causing damage directly to his head. The guy is defeated. Back to Megumi, the girl is standing in front of him. She says, I will take you to Higuruma, but first I need a favor from you. Megumi asks, what do you want? Tell me quickly. The girl says, I want you to be my knight. Before she can finish, Megumi immediately says, yeah, fine, whatever. Surprised, the girl asks, am I that boring? Megumi says, just take me to him quietly. I don't have much time. The girl says, fine, but since you are my knight, you have to protect me. Megumi replies, yes, I will, if you are not lying to me. Finally, we see Yuji again. Amai comes up behind him. He calls Yuji by name and says he knows Higuruma. Yuji is like, do I know you? Amai says, maybe you don't know me, but I know you. You were quite famous in middle school. This means the guy is from Yuji's hometown. Amai starts leading Yuji toward Higuruma. On the other side, the girl is leading Megumi. But Megumi is a bit suspicious. He asks, tell me first, where are we going? The girl says Higuruma is in Shinjuku. We are going there. Meanwhile, Amai tells Yuji Higuruma is in a bunker. Both mention different locations, meaning one of them is lying. And with that, this episode ends here. The next episode is going to be very exciting because we will finally see Higuruma.